defense is on land, on sea, and in the air. But its greatest threat is from space. The long-range ballistic missile, traveling above the atmosphere at speeds of almost 5 miles per second, destined for a target within our borders. The danger is great, but we need not be helpless against it. Its approach can be detected and tracked. A killer missile is being developed to intercept and destroy it far from its intended target. For this killer missile, the United States Army looks to its anti-missile missile development, Zeus. In 1945, Army Ordnance asked the team of Western Electric, Bell Telephone Laboratories, and Douglas Aircraft to explore the possibilities of an anti-aircraft defense weapon capable of attacking high-speed, highly maneuverable bombers. In designing the Nike Ajax system, a principle was employed which was to greatly affect the design of Nike Hercules and Nike Zeus. All three missile systems have their electronic brains on the ground rather than in the missile. After a missile is fired, the expensive machinery of guidance remains intact, ready to be utilized for subsequent firing. Early in 1952, Ajax, armed for the first time with a warhead, was fired. An extremely complex problem in applied physics was put to the test and solved. The same team was called upon to produce Hercules, to have a range 3 times greater than Ajax and the ability to carry a nuclear warhead. Now, radar had to be more powerful for the longer range of the missile. In a sense, our scientists were beginning to stretch muscles that were to be needed for Nike Zeus. The Army Rocket and Guided Missile Agency had asked for a missile of greater speed, range, and explosive punch. Hercules was the answer. This system has intercepted targets traveling faster than 2,000 miles an hour and balloon targets at altitudes of more than 150,000 feet. In 1960, Hercules was launched as a target for an attempted intercept by another Hercules missile. Traveling several times the speed of sound, 19 miles above the Earth, the target was successfully intercepted. Today, Hercules and Ajax are proven weapons, guarding our cities, homes, and factories. America's steady growth of experience in the command guidance systems developed for these missiles has been essential in preparing us for a new challenge, the Army's answer to the threat of the ballistic missile, Nike Zeus, upon which so much of our future security may depend, whose potential capabilities challenge the imagination, and which would not be possible without the high plateaus of knowledge and experience reached in developing its forerunners. Technical direction for this program was assigned by Army Ordnance Missile Command to the Army Rocket and Guided Missile Agency at Redstone Arsenal, Alabama. For the basic system concept in the Nike program, the Army turned to the Bell system, where achievement has come through continuity of effort and an attitude of vigorous inquiry. Here it is traditional to discover possibilities where none seem to exist. Probing off the beaten track, finding an answer in the darkness. This is the routine that has created Nike. Time to think and to try. Lead time. You cannot suddenly buy the long period of research that must precede final production. The Nike Zeus concept has evolved out of experience gained through Ajax and Hercules, but it differs from them substantially. Far outside the atmosphere, an oncoming missile will be detected by radar beams endlessly sweeping the skies. A precision radar is then assigned to track the target. As soon as the enemy warhead reaches a certain range, Zeus will be automatically fired. The booster drops away. A missile track radar guides Nike Zeus toward its target. When Zeus reaches the target, it will be detonated to destroy the enemy missile far from the defended area. As missile technology advances, a warhead hidden in a cluster of decoys to confuse our radars becomes possible. For this eventuality, high-precision ground equipment is being developed, which is designed to discriminate between decoys and real targets. The system is designed to fire missiles against multiple targets. The Zeus development project is a countrywide effort under the Army Rocket and Guided Missile Agency. Bell Telephone Laboratories, with the Western Electric Company and the Douglas Aircraft Company, is engaged in directing the efforts of 17 major subcontractors, other subcontractors totaling 81, and hundreds of small businesses. The combined efforts of these many companies is directed toward completing a Zeus test installation at White Sands Missile Range. Here, terrain facilities and personnel have already made possible the thorough evaluation of the two other members of the Nike family. The battery control building is the nerve center of the Zeus system, with responsibility for command and guidance of system components. It also provides the pedestals for the missile track radars. The probing transmitting antenna for the acquisition radar generates the high-powered pulses to be reflected by objects in space to the receiving antenna. This 12-story high early design permits the acquisition of signals from objects smaller and further away than previously possible. The target track radar assigned the responsibility of precise tracking of a target. The launch area, with above-the-ground and underground launch capabilities, and the missile. Its booster generates almost 500,000 pounds of thrust, one of the greatest single solid propellant motors in the free world. Sustainer and final stage, checked out of the assembly area, are on their way to the launch site. A test day has arrived. The tests about to be performed answer numerous questions. Are the aerodynamic characteristics of the missile pure? Will the missile withstand the intense heat generated by the extreme speed of Zeus? Is the underground launching equipment effective? For development tests of the missile extended to extreme ranges, Nike Zeus will be fired out over the Pacific Ocean from this launcher site. Studies and tests of the Zeus system will be carried out over increasingly longer distances, too. On the Atlantic range, ballistic missiles fired from Cape Canaveral will provide an opportunity to test the target track radar and discrimination equipment installed on Ascension Island. At Kwajalein Atoll in the Central Pacific, construction for an entire Zeus test system is well underway. This system will be tested against ICBM target vehicles fired from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. Flight trajectory of the ICBM target vehicles will be carefully monitored by precise electronic measurement equipment in order to permit a range safety officer to activate a destruct mechanism if the vehicle should stray from its path sufficiently to endanger any life or property. Zeus is our country's only anti-missile missile system under development today. Being made a reality. moving ever forward in development to meet the challenge.